This is Ask GMBN.
Yes, we're back from the sunshine of Spain. We're back in the shed and we are ready to answer all your mountain bike related questions.
And if you have a question, just leave it down below in the comments section and maybe we'll answer it next week.
Are you ready to just get straight into
ready.
it? Okay, the first one is from Xenov and he's saying, can flat pedals be too big?
Well, we've seen this with Crank Brothers. You can buy two different sizes of stamps. I actually go for the smaller size. I'm UK 8, which is right in between the two sizes.
I'll just add in, I go for the large and I'm a UK 10.
So I know Blake prefers smaller ones as well for dirt jumping, so I definitely think you can get them to fit your shoes.
Okay, Jung Yan Wong is saying, my manuals keep going to the side, my hips are not going straight back, possibly because I'm light, my balance point is far back while my legs are not long enough. Have you got any tips? And I'm going to let you take this one because you're the manual master.
Well, the main reason for going sideways in the manual is pulling with your arms rather than going side to side with your hips. So I would double check, video yourself or get your mate to video you. Make sure your elbows are locked when you're doing the manual. If you're pulling, it's dead easy to go one way or the other. And if you're not pulling, then just practice hips back and forth and make sure they're in line with the bike.
Okay, and Ryan Kelly is saying, if I were to change a bike with 3 chainrings at the front to a single, will I need a new crankset?
Potentially, yeah, it depends. I think sometimes you can put that single in the middle, where your middle chainring used to be.
Yeah, it depends really on how many teeth you've got though, doesn't it? I remember taking the outer one off and the inner one and then having a 32 tooth right in the middle, and that worked pretty well. But now that there's a narrow wide thing, it's probably worth the upgrade, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd say so.
And at that point, let's just throw into a video all about how to install a single chainring.
In today's video, I'm going to show you how to convert to a 1x setup. By that I mean changing from a dual or triple chainring up front to just a single. Why would you want to do that? Well, it's a much simpler system really. You're dumping your front mech, front shifter, and getting rid of those chainrings obviously. To me, that really works because you can run a much shorter chain, makes the bike that much quieter and easier to use.
Jack Harris is asking, hi guys, I've been riding for about 1.5 years now and I'm looking to get a new dual suspension bike. I love downhill, but the tracks around are mainly cross-country and enduro. Would love some help.
Well, downhill bikes are great, but they are dogs. You have to push them uphill basically or get an uplift. So it depends really. A sort of 140 travel, 160mm travel bike is going to be a great all-round bike. You'll be able to go really fast downhill and pedal it up.
I'm going to second that, especially if he says that the trails are particularly cross-country and enduro orientated, then you're going to want to get a bike that you can pedal around, get to the trailhead, and then have fun on the way down. So 140, 160, perfect.
And if the downhills aren't very steep, again, downhill bikes are pretty hard work.
Boba Fett mountain bike is saying, can I upgrade a rear 160mm rotor to 180mm rotor? And if so, how?
Yes, you probably can. You just need to get one of those adapters to space the caliper further away from your disc.
And of course, the right disc rotor size.
Of course.
Because if you didn't have that, then you couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Shane Lennon.
Having said that, I'm not saying it's a huge upgrade that, unless you're riding somewhere really big downhills where your brakes get really hot, I probably wouldn't bother.
Yeah, maybe. But I do like the 180 front and rear. That works pretty well all round. Shane Lennon is saying, have you got any tips on how to stoppie?
Massive handful of front brake.
Oh, Neil, tell them to modulate that front brake though.
Yeah, you need some weight on that front tire as well when you pull that front brake. That's where you got to be careful.
But not too much.
Not too much. But if you don't have any weight on it, it's going to skid. So you need some weight, some brake, and go steady.
It's kind of like building into it, isn't it? You don't want to go too fast, too aggressively, too much weight over the front, because that leads to disaster. And on that point, let's throw them to a video all about how to endo around tight switchbacks. The principle of the endo is to lift up that rear end using your hips and a little bit of front brake. It's exactly the same whether you've got flat pedals, clip pedals, a hardtail or full suspension. It's all about technique. Okay, the next one is from Hugh Wiley and he's saying, any tips to stop feet coming off the pedals when jumping?
Oh, it's a common one this, and this is where I go off on a massive rant about proper bunny hops. I'm sure you've heard this before if you've watched any of my how-tos. If you're trying to pull with your feet and you're not clipped in, you will always come off. So rather than using your feet to lift the back wheel, you need to use your hips. So practice your bunny hops on the flat and make sure your hips are going up and forward to lift the rear wheel, and then that'll convert to jumps.
Anything else?
No.
Okay. Zach Durhan is saying, I'm having trouble constantly getting my front wheel up in a manual. Is there any tips or tricks to get it consistently?
So the manual's all about the pump and the move back. So if it's not lifted, you either need one of both or one of each, more of one of each, sorry. So more pump, so move down towards the bike a bit firmer and move further back towards the rear wheel, and that will always lift the front wheel.
And you could also do like a little compression in your front fork just to give you that spring, pop back. Anthony Holdway is saying, I just watched a GCN video. Ooh. And they answered a question, how much do you need to train to be in good form? I was wondering if you could answer the same if you're training on a mountain bike only. Now this is a good one for you because you're going to Chile. Wow. And you've been training a little bit.
A bit, not as hard as I used to when I was a pro. When I was a pro, I would train for 5.5 days a week. So I have a day and a half off. So I train twice a day for the rest of the days. So either on a road bike, on the gym, or doing miles on the mountain bike. So to be a pro, you need to train a lot. To be relatively fit, I don't know, 3 or 4 times a week, I would say, is a good amount of training.
Yeah, I'm probably going to agree with that. And on that, I'm just going to throw out the video that you did actually.
I was training for Enduro.
Yeah, exactly. So check it out.
At the Enduro World Series last year in Scotland, with practice and racing, I rode 180 kilometres and did over 3,000 metres of climbing. Never mind the 8 stages where you're hitting or getting very close to max heart rate. So never mind all the physical stuff, you've actually got to ride your bike really fast when you're absolutely revved out. So how do you prepare for such a race? I split my training into 3 parts: intervals, base miles, mountain bike rides. Right, let me get at it with a quick fire round. I'll ask you the questions. Swagston Maggie, how do I get motivated to ride my mountain bike when it's cold as balls outside?
Oh, this is hard. Put a jacket on, I guess.
Just get out there. You always warm up once you start pedaling.
And biking's fun.
Yeah, get over it. Dylan Lee, can you ride downhill on a 160mm travel bike?
Yeah, for sure, definitely. We had a lot of fun on Whistler Bike Park this year on our enduro bikes.
Mika Dottie, how old are you guys? That's a bit personal.
How old are you?
I'm 35.
26.
Daisy Montero, is it bad for your bike to wheelie? No, it's good.
Yeah,
Bikes
everyone loves wheelies. Yeah, bikes are actually specifically built to wheelie, so you should do it more often. Loves back wheel.
Crash Boy, where can I buy GMBN bottles? That's a good question. Do we sell GMBN?
No, but you can win them.
Oh, we can win them.
Yeah, caption contest in the shed. Other ways, lives on Facebook. So you're just going to have to watch the space. Maybe they'll be in the shop one day.
Right, Clayton Holder, what should I upgrade first on my hardtail? Sprocket, bar, stem or forks?
Ooh, depends on the stem length and the bar width, but I'd say they're probably key points.
Wheels? Wasn't in the list.
Yeah, tyres too, because the list could go on for a long time.
Plazine Productions, how do I get grease off my discs and brake pads?
That's tricky.
Grease.
Blowtorch.
Yeah, wipe them down on your discs. You need a bit of alcohol, you know, sort of solvent to get that stuff off. And then I do use a blowtorch on my brake pads to boil any oil out.
Or boil a kettle if you don't have a blowtorch. But it doesn't always work, not 100% guaranteed.
No. Correct me if I'm wrong.
And the first one comes from Liam, and he's wanting to know how he can improve his jumping. Let's take a look.
Oh, that's the double.
It looks pretty cool wherever he is.
Oh, it's like a desert, isn't it?
Yeah.
That was pretty good effort, to be fair. I would say because of the angle you landed, your front wheel didn't land until right at the bottom. So try and match the angle of the downslope, so you land your front wheel at the top and then your back wheel at the top, rather than go, because if you go sideways or a little bit wrong, your front wheel doesn't land until right at the bottom of the compression and you can get out of shape. But the technique looks pretty good. Okay,
so the next one comes from Tyler Curtin, and he's got a drop off that he's about to tackle.
It's quite big.
It is big actually, isn't it?
So coming in, ooh, crack.
Oh, bottom out on those forks.
Yeah,
Bang.
that's pretty big. You almost chinned his stem. I've done that before. I've got stitches under here from doing that, and I've also smashed my tooth through my lip before doing that. So you have to be a bit careful that you don't go too big, but I think the technique was pretty good. Maybe try and land a bit closer to it, so don't go so fast off it. That's gonna be a bit smoother.
I mean, that's quite a small, like the actual distance that he's got to go is pretty small on that one. So you could actually almost just, I'd say even wheelie drop off that and you'd be absolutely fine.
Yeah,
so,
nice and slow, nice manual or wheelie, just to land a bit closer.
The technique is definitely there though.
Nice, not wrong. Correct me if I'm not wrong. Leave your questions down below in the comment section. And make sure that you use that hashtag Ask GMBN. This logo right here, you're going to want to click on that if you haven't already, because you'll get to subscribe to GMBN. And if you click down here, that'll take you through to a video about how to manual.
And click right here for how to drop off.
And give us a thumb up if you enjoyed this week's Ask GMBN.